And it's another edition of the Chris Brecht State Farm Insurance Coaches Show right here on 1360 WOW. I'm Matt Jarvi, along with me, Rocco Dobran. Coach, good to be with you.
Hey, great to be here.
Always a good time. Last week I thought they played well at times. You didn't pull out the win, but it seemed like you're up against an experienced group of seniors that had an offensive strategy down pretty good with JFK.
Absolutely. It was a great team, and I was very proud of the way our kids played. They had a couple Division I players on that team, just a very, very well-rounded team in all areas. Probably the best offense and defensive line that we'll see all year.
Yeah.
Just very physical team, and so our guys had, showed no quit, and they kept fighting and had a lot of key stops, interceptions at big times. So we kept playing, and we were on the foot line, the foot line,
oh boy,
1 foot away from winning that game. So
yeah.
I couldn't be more proud, even though we lost the game.
Right.
Just the effort that our kids put in, and that by far was their best game this year. If we would have played like that earlier in the season, we would have been a lot happier with our status earlier on.
Yeah. I mean, as far as you're proud of the way that they hung in there, didn't give up either.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, there had to have been times with JFK when they must have said to themselves, "Hey, we're only up by 6 points." They're used to putting some points up.
Absolutely.
Against some fairly good teams like Aquinas, that maybe you're struggling now, but it's a historic program that's done very well before.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, they had it going, not as well as they wanted to, and they must have questioned themselves. And you guys, I think the Spartans were close to maybe turning the tide on momentum there at any moment.
Absolutely. And, there was just a lot of defense played great all night, and there's just a lot of big plays on offense that kept us alive and got us down and, in position to score at one point. And, early in the game, with first drive, we drive it down to the 20, and we had the first down and kind of came back out of it. But it would have put us in a good spot. So there was a lot of good things that came from it, like I said, and I was just proud to play that well against a tough team.
Yeah. I was hoping on the other opportunity where they could have scored when Mandigello had the ball and he's angling for the pylon. He's hoping to get to the pylon. He didn't know somebody was right behind him trying to run him down. If there's any way he could have just shot up field real quick, he might have been able to squeak in there. But as you said, there were some big guys and they hit pretty hard. And, that's something mentally, it becomes a factor.
Absolutely.
With some of the players. So, I mean, it was a good game, exciting game. It really was. This week, we're looking for another one. Last year, you guys really handed it to them 42-0, but that wasn't anything compared to minus 1 yard total offense that you held them to defensively. Now the Warriors of Edgewood have the Spartans at home this year, so I'm sure they're looking for some payback.
Absolutely. They're not the same team they were last year. They've improved a lot. Watching them on film, they're putting up a lot of points too. They put up 25 against a good Geneva team.
Yeah.
Last week they put up a lot against Grand Valley. They're doing a great job. Got some great athletes. I know the quarterback Winchell worked hard all off season. It shows in his gameplay. Isaiah Harris is a great athlete, a receiver for them. That Bisbee had 5 touchdowns last week at the tailback.
Yeah.
So they really got a lot of good athletes, and they Butch goes, what is this, his third year? They're really getting into learning his system, and
right.
Year 3, and that's kind of where it happened for us. When I came here, year 3 was a big difference, and I see a big difference in them year 3 as far as just knowing the offense. They're going to put out a good performance every week offensively for sure.
What do you look from the Warriors? They tend to want to run the ball mostly?
Yeah, I mean, last year they were past like 80%. This year, with Bisbee at tailback, it seems like they're, maybe only past 60%, around 40. They're definitely pass heavy,
right.
and that's what they like to do. And it seems like their philosophy is let's try to outscore you.
Yeah. And whatever works, maybe go with it too.
Absolutely. So now, good thing for us is our defense has been our strong suit so far this season. I feel like our defense played well in every game. So hopefully that's a good matchup there as far as our defense against their offenses. Yeah. And, if we can hold them down points low enough, hopefully we could get our offense rolling better than we have the last couple of weeks and score some points.
How about the smack talk? Any of that going on? Last year there was quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I never know, with these kids. I don't hear about it as much with these kids as I did last year's kids. That doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah.
Who knows what what they do on their social media stuff. And,
Well, I would think after last year, that might be a little quieter.
yeah, and so I always tell our kids, I said, don't say anything. Let them talk and let them motivate that. Let their talk motivate you on the field instead of giving them motivation.
Right.
Back, So hopefully there's not too much talk, but it's always a possibility when you get a rival game, and those are the things that make rival games like this fun. And it's just a big week, and it's been a fun week all the way coming up to this point. Kids are awfully excited, and I'm sure their kids are in the same boat.
Yeah, and both of you are in the same boat too. You're coming in this game at 1-2. Everyone
Absolutely.
wants to be 500 after the end of this game.
Absolutely, for sure.
So I'm sure it's going to be a really hard-fought football game.
Absolutely, it's going to be a good one out there.
Hey, can I rewind one more time back to JFK down at Warren G. Harding? And what a field that was, too, wasn't it?
Absolutely, it's
You can
amazing.
tell they know how to pack people in there. I couldn't believe the visitors' side.
Yeah,
How big that was,
It was big.
and the booth that was up there. It was just
for sure.
what a facility it really was. But on that call on the field, it did look like number 2 for JFK did hook Tellis when he was trying to get by him, and that's where they marked the ball for the penalty, right there at 47 or whatever it was. I don't know. It's right where that number 2 was down on his knees, and he hooked Tellis. But what was the discussion that you had with the referees on that penalty call?
Basically, when the interception occurred and there was a penalty for pass interference, he blew the whistle. He's not supposed to. The referee blew the whistle. So it was an inadvertent whistle. And the ruling on an inadvertent whistle is either you can take the play, the result of the play, or you can redo the down. And they were trying to tell me that I wanted to redo the down because the result of the play was a interception.
Right.
And it wasn't a touchdown because they blew the whistle before he scored, but the result of the play would still have been their ball, interception. And I said, no, the result of the play is they intercepted the ball, but there's a 15-yard penalty for pass interference. So the result of the play is our ball 15 yards. And it took me explaining that to them a couple times before they realized what I was saying. So I don't know if they didn't realize there was a flag, except for the guy on my sideline, or if they were just thinking it's the result of the play is an interception. I'm like, no, the result of the play is an interception, but the flag occurred before the interception.
Yeah.
And it occurred before the whistle. So the result of the play would have been interception them, but then we accept the penalty 15 yards. And then they changed the call to what it should have been.
Okay, so there was a whistle and there was also a flag.
Yes. So it was a flag. It was a flag, and then he blew the whistle. He should have let the play out.
Okay.
So they would have scored a touchdown, but it would have came back because of pass interference.
Gotcha.
And he should have let it play out, but he accidentally, when he threw his flag, and then the ball was intercepted, he blew the whistle. He blew the play dead.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to do that.
Well, you're doing a great job communicating to the crowd when you were down there, because you were mimicking throwing a flag and then first down with the interception and all that, Mark.
Yeah, I got a lot of people talk now that it's live streamed.
Yeah.
I get all kinds of people from home saying, "Hey, you were very dramatic. Your hands were." So
and they were listening. They were listening to every word you said too. And I think they got the right call because both defenders really got into Tellis before the ball got
Yeah, it was definitely a right call. There was no argument that it was pass interference.
Yeah.
There was no argument there. It was just how to handle an inadvertent whistle.
Great. Coach, wish you the best luck tonight against Edgewood.
Thank you, man. It should be a fun one to watch.
Be great to get back to 2-2, and that's coming up in just a few minutes here. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Edgewood Warriors are at home against the Conneaut Spartans right here on 1360 WOW.